You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the January 6th, 2025 meeting of the LaPorte County Council Reorganization meeting. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Hi, I'm Mike Rosenbaum, LaPorte County Auditor, having the pleasure to start off the 2025 year for this reorganization meeting of the LaPorte County Council. Please turn off all cell phones. Let's see. Going to call the meeting to order. It is officially 5:01. If everybody please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, and at the end, please give me a moment of silence for former President Jimmy Carter. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Chief Deputy Auditor, would you please give a roll call?
Brett Kessler,
Present.
Justin Keel,
Present.
Adam Karanka,
Present.
Mike Mollenauer,
Present.
Randy Novak,
Present.
Jimmy Pressel,
Present.
and Mark Yagelski.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Move right into nomination and election of the 2025 LaPorte County Council officers. We are looking for nominations for the president.
Mr. Auditor, I'd like to nominate Adam Karanka for President of LaPorte County Council.
We have a nomination
Second it.
and we have a second. Is there any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll close nominations. Move forward with, if all in favor of Adam Karanka, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? That is it. That is my end for this evening at this section. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Auditor.
Thank you, gentlemen. So you want to add changes, or you want to change it for me?
I'd finish this and then.
No, fair enough. So I'm now opening up for nominations for Vice President of the County Council.
Mr. President, I would nominate Mr. Kessler as Vice President.
I'll second that.
Any other nominations? Nominations are here closed. All in favor of Brett Kessler as Vice President of the County Council, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Congratulations, Brett.
Thank you. Now you want to go back to the.
All right, so back to the agenda for a moment. There are a couple of changes that I'd like to request if somebody would follow up with them. So under nomination and election of 2025 LaPorte County Council officers, I'd like to add approval of the agenda, as well as down to the item on the last page, or the last item on the first page, where it calls for LaPorte County Board of Health. The current member Lauren Arnold's term doesn't expire until 2027, so I'd like to remove that from the agenda.
So move, Mr. President. Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Public comment. Public comment is now open. Anybody?
God, ever since
Anybody from Zoom?
not when he became a commissioner, he stopped coming.
All right.
I'll be back.
Good evening. Congratulations, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President. Joe Haney, LaPorte County Commissioner for District 3. Just wanted to come up and express my gratitude for having some Zoom open here this evening. As you may be aware, earlier this month, the Board of Commissioners voted to suspend Zoom or an electronic participation in meetings during the Board of Commissioners meeting. Obviously, being your own independent board, you can set your own rules, just like most of the boards can as well. I would encourage you to keep that open. the feedback that I've been hearing from my constituents, especially those in southern parts of the county or more outlying parts of the county, to get here from some of these areas like La Crosse can take half an hour to 45 minutes, for example, coming in from Fish Lake, some of the more outlying areas, northeast corner of the county when you start getting out by St. Joe, especially in some of the winter months, things get bad. I have a lot of older folks who like to view the meetings online and occasionally participate. If you know, just like my parents, as my mom, for example, starts getting older, she doesn't like to drive after dark. We see that quite a bit as older folks. They get older, their eyes start dropping. For other issues as far as medical ailments or anything else, folks who want to be able to try and participate but can't. I think it's crucial all elected officials show up to all the meetings. But for the folks in the community who either can't afford, gas money can be tight if you're driving half an hour, 45 minutes each way. Be a big help to keep them here. The second topic just to mention is that we have Attorney DiMartino on the line here. He is the commission president. I would say I would not have a problem if you guys need to do RFPs and RFQs to retain Attorney DiMartino for another month or two if you needed to do any kind of RFQs or do interviews or whatever else for legal counsel if you would prefer. You guys may make a decision here tonight, which obviously is perfectly fine, however you want to do it. But at some point, I do think there needs to be a split between the counsel and commissioner attorney, so we each have our own independent one. Again, though, for the next month or two, it's perfectly fine. I speak only for myself that, if you need to.
You did mean he's the commissioner's attorney. You said he's the commissioner president.
I'm sorry, Councilman. Yes, sorry about that.
Clarify. I didn't watch your last meeting. I don't know what happened.
Yes.
Randy, that's going to accuse some lawyers, but that's not my role.
No.
Sure.
So anyway, my point being there, if he needs to stay on with you guys for another month or two while you conduct any interviews or anything else, I would not have any problem with that whatsoever. And of course, obviously, I do hope that at some point you guys choose your own independent attorney because it's important for the two bodies. While usually we get along, sometimes there can be contention and we each need our own equal representation. So thanks so much. Have a great evening. And I wish you guys a lot of luck this year. You've got some fantastic new members on the board here. I'm really glad to see all of you up here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Anyone from Zoom? Hearing none, public comment has now closed. Moving on to department head comments. Any department heads?
Mike Rosenbaum, LaPorte County Auditor. It was never my intent to be the first person to be up here, but I'm going to ask you for permission to spend out of the 1216 Auditor's Ineligible Deduction Fund to not to exceed $20,000. In taking over the auditor's office, we find that there's some furniture that needs to be replaced, some printers that need to be replaced, and even a laptop or two that needs to be replaced. And we would certainly go out before spending anything, would find out what the costs are. But being my third business day in that office, although I've been there 5 days so far, that is my request, and to let you know that account balance is carrying over $294,000 in it, and we are allowed to spend that type of money for those types of things out of that account. So I ask.
Are you seeking an appropriation or is this
support? Motion of support to spend not to exceed $20,000. We'll come back with appropriations when we have a final number.
Motion to approve. Support.
Second.
Hearing a motion in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Sorry.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. I just have a second thing. I just want to remind everybody that we have ALCO for free and have had that for way before the coronavirus ever hit our nation.
Thank you. Any other department heads? Any department heads on Zoom? Department head comments are now closed. New business. Appointment of legal counsel.
Mr. President,
Actually, Yagowski.
I'd like to hold this off until the January meeting. We need, due to some circumstances that we found out just prior to this meeting, that we could look at some more investigation until the January meeting.
Is that a motion?
Motion.
Motion second?
Second.
Also, in that question, if you don't mind. I'll follow up. There was a committee that was formed. I don't know if you're gonna reappoint a different committee or whatever you wanna do, so that if you want, you by committee or whatever you wanna do, Mr. President.
All right.
I would ask that we consider doing interviews just so we can familiarize ourselves with the choices. I mean, I know we could do that one-on-one, but it might be productive for us to do.
As we had the interviews, but we didn't get that far with the rest to finish it up last year because at the time, the individuals didn't want it, so it's just the reason why we stopped with the interview. To be totally honest with you, why you haven't interviewed them? Because the people that were on didn't want it. So, but anyways, it's my motion, but I don't know if you want to follow a process of a committee or not. That's all, Mr. President.
Okay. Let's. Yeah, motion and a second. Any other discussion?
So the idea of the interviews, is this something that we would bring it back to everybody, or everybody would be at the interviews? Or I think last year we had talked about, there was a committee, I couldn't even tell you exactly who was on it. I know you were, but they were gonna.
Adam, myself, and Mike, Mr. Moldenauer,
See
was
about-
the three of us, but again, the committee that we had together, reason why some of the people didn't want to go any further in the process, so we finished up December 24th, 2024, leaving it at that. So this starts fresh again. I mean, Adam, unless you want to say something different.
No, I wouldn't say anything different. I mean, we met, we discussed the three proposals we received, and we're still looking at those three proposals in front of us right now. So
I guess I'll stick with my first motion first, and that I'll follow up with my second vote, ask for vote. So the first motion will still be that I'd like to make this adjournment till the January meeting.
okay. Any further discussion? With all that, motion to move to January meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that you form a committee for, unless you want to do it collectively, it's up to you, however you want to do it.
Okay.
I will not be here for the month of January, so if you have somebody else, that's fine. I'll pull my name off the committee then.
Okay. I have a motion. Is there a second?
You don't need a second, you can form your own committee.
I can form my own committee.
It's an ad hoc committee anyway.
All right. Any preference from anyone that want to be involved directly?
We have two new people, so wouldn't it be a good idea to have an executive session and,
We just have an exec session and bring in the three, whoever they are.
Whoever's available.
Right.
Yeah.
Then I'll go forward and call in an exec session.
I think it's probably safe to say we're not going to get dozens of applicants that need to be weeded out by a committee first, so.
Well, I think are you gonna seek new applications, or are we gonna go with the ones we have?
I would go with the ones we have at the moment,
Right.
and if we're going to seek new, we're going to be pushing this out probably 3 months. And
It's a very difficult, the biggest thing, I just make a comment, Mr. President, very quick. With Valparaiso University dropping its law, I know that much as we like attorneys, sorry, one we have present, we really have a lack of attorneys that are in the community around available, especially ones that have the ability to do political type law that we have here as far as the council and commissioners are concerned. So there's not a whole lot of resumes. Adam, you could go on my conversation with it too, that we don't have a lot of selections that we can look at in that respect.
okay. Is there an evening or a week that works best for the?
Probably right before the next meeting would be ideal.
Okay.
Just prior to it?
5 p.m. prior to the next meeting.
Guy has a comment.
Mr. DiMartino.
I think that's what you did 8 years ago. You had it right before the meeting in January. You called, you set like 10, I think Joey set like 10 or 15 minute times for the folks to come in, and you did one at a time.
To just do it right here?
Yeah, that's what you did then.
Then I like it.
Since we don't have that many, we can do it at 5 o'clock
Yeah.
on the 27th.
On the 27th?
It's the 27th is the next meeting.
Yes.
So we would set that up for 5 o'clock to start, if everybody agrees. And then we'll allow 15 minutes apiece because there's 3, and then some time to conclude. Okay?
Sounds
And then
good.
we'll get that processed.
All right, so executive session we called for the 27th at 5 PM prior to our meeting in this room. And then, does anyone want to volunteer to communicate with the initial candidates?
I won't be here, just go ahead and do what you know.
Then I'll reach out to them and let them know the exec session.
You have all the.
I'll trust you.
I have all the
We
applications.
have, everybody's got them, I think, yeah.
Yep. All right. Moving on. County Council, excuse me. Planning year for 2025, approval of regular meeting dates. In our packet, we all should have the calendar.
President, I think we have dates here set up. Did we already check with the AIC dates that are on here?
If I may, September 22nd is a week earlier, just so that we get it before the conference.
Okay,
The conference is the following week.
so that's already been adjusted for the ASC.
I believe so.
Commissioners, and what about March? What about the, road school?
I did not have anything that conflicted on March, and May 27th is a Tuesday.
Road school is not conflicting with March?
I did not have.
I'll look it up.
Checking out now.
Yeah.
You know what, for all you Polish guys, we had
March
on
18th.
Dingiswood Day one year, so I just wanna make sure we don't mess that one up again.
Mark, no conflict with road school. I just looked it up.
Thank you for looking that up.
All right, thanks, Justin.
March 18th.
All right, so sounds like we've got everything adjusted. We got a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. All right. County Council appointment of boards, starting with the first board, the Alcoholic Beverage Board. We have one position. The current member is Matt Sikorsky, whose term ended on the 31st of last month.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to reinstate again for another term, Matt Sikorsky.
I'll second that.
Any other candidates?
Mr. President, I would nominate Ron Schaefer to the ABC board.
Okay. Any further nominations? Nominations are closed.
That question, ABC board, I didn't have it on my list that I,
No.
It's the first one. First page.
All right.
sorry.
So, do we want to do it by roll call?
Sure.
All right. Mr. Auditor?
First of all, is there a second on that?
Nominations don't require seconds.
I just asked if there was a second, and we missed something.
Gotcha.
No, there was no one.
Roll call. Hold on. We'll do a roll call, and please tell me the name of the person when your name is called. The two choices are Ron Schaefer and Matt Sikorsky. Brett Kessler,
Ron Schaefer.
Justin Keel,
Ron Schaefer.
Mr. Karanka,
Ron Schaefer?
Mr. Mullenhour,
Matt Sikorsky.
Mr. Novak,
Matt Sikorsky.
Mr. Pressel,
Matt Sikorsky.
and Mr. Yagowski.
Matt Sikorsky.
Okay.
I have 4 Matt Sikorsky, 3 Ron Schaefer, so Matt Sikorsky is the one to retain.
Thank you, Mr. Auditor. Moving on, LaPorte County Economic Development Commission. There's no current member. Members appointed by both council and commission. So, was there an appointment from the Board of Commissioners previously? Or
From the
recommended?
Council.
we did. I don't have the minutes from that meeting.
I don't know if there's ever been
I
a.
don't think we have a council.
I didn't think
I
you
don't
had-
know where it came from, so I don't know.
that there's ever been-
Mr. Reardon has his hand up, and I bet you he has the answer for us.
That the county council did?
Mr. President, council members, the EDC really activates only when the county would be issuing debt or you would be creating an economic development target area. So it kind of goes hand in hand with projects. So if a project comes before either redevelopment or economic development, I would seek the input from the council and the commissioners to make those appointments. So that's not a body that meets regularly, it meets for real specific activities.
Right. I think when Michigan City did something once, I think we appointed Mr. Yagowski.
I believe so, yes.
Yes.
Would you like us to appoint someone now, or would you prefer us to wait until there's actually a need
I would
for
leave it up to the body. Like I said, we would get ahead of project in advance enough to make an appointment. It would not hurt either one way or the other. So,
No preference.
I think we just wait.
So an ad hoc is what you're looking for. All right. So, do we need a motion in order to?
No, we've never had.
Then we will.
Never had it before.
All right. So as needed, we will assign an ad hoc appointee for any needs going forward. Moving on. Fair Management and Events Corporation, FMEC. Current members are Randy Novak and Mike Rosenbaum. Both terms ended the 31st of last month. Do I have any nominations?
Nominate Randy Novak.
Mr. President, I would nominate Mr. Pressel, if he accepts.
yeah, all good.
Okay. Any further nominations?
Make motion to close nominations.
Motion. All right. Nominations are closed.
I'm sorry, did someone second that motion? It's not a nomination, so it was a motion.
Second, okay. but
Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Thank you. You do that, buddy.
So, being that we have 2 open positions and 2 nominations, I suggest we call for the vote for the.
There's 2 openings, aren't there?
There's 2 openings.
Yeah.
2 openings and 2 candidates.
Yeah. So just a simple voice vote should suffice.
I believe so. So, all in favor of naming Mr. Randy Novak and Mr. Jimmy Pressel to the FMEC? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Peter Boa. Current members are Bob Bailey and Erica Miller. Both terms ended on the 1st of this month.
Mr. President, I'd like to motion, Bob Bailey's been on council for a long time. I know he's been our Republican pick. I don't know how much we have as far as Republican Democrats pick, but he's been one, I've nominated him for quite, I think 20 years at least now. He's been a good pick. It's a Wonderful Life, Bob Bailey. If anybody knows.
I have a motion.
I do it every year.
Second.
All right.
President, I would nominate
Everhouse.
Mr. President, I would nominate Ken Pers to the PETA BOA.
Mr. President, I nominate Erica Miller because it gives us, as well as Ken does, but it gives somebody from the north and south.
Okay.
It's my understanding, I just want to add one more thing, that Erica's been doing a very good job, from my understanding. Attended meetings for her and Bob.
Okay. Thank you. Any further nominations? Nominations are closed. So, Mr. Otter, I think
We
we
have to
should go.
just a roll call and then everybody give me 2 names
That's-
and we'll document it and go from there.
I agree.
Thank you very much. In a different order, Mr. Yagowski,
Bob Bailey, Erica Miller.
Mr. Pressel,
Bailey and Miller.
Mr. Novak,
Bailey Miller.
Mr. Mullenhour,
Bailey, Miller.
Mr. Karanka,
Pers Miller.
Mr. Keel,
Pers Miller.
and Mr. Kessler.
Bailey Miller.
Okay. Mr. Bailey has 5 votes. Ms. Miller has 7, and Mr. Purse has 2. So it would be Mr. Bailey and Ms. Miller.
All right.
Is that follow through with what we're supposed to do as far as R's and D's? That
Don't think there was an R's and D's requirement on this one.
okay? Thank you.
Mr. Assessor, is there a requirement for political parties for any of the appointees to this position, or is it just nonpartisan?
It used to be, that's why I don't remember.
And if there is a
Some appointees that
if there is a
require
requirement,
political
we're in
affiliation.
violation unless you.
No, as it stands now, with the way you guys voted, it's 3 Ds and 2 Rs.
There still is if we did,
Yeah, I mean, it could be three Rs and 2 Ds, I mean, because it's a 5-member board, but it's not all stacked one way or the other.
that's what I thought.
And Matt Bernacki's the level 2. You have to have at least one level 2, and so Matt Bernacki fills that spot.
Okay, so having heard this conversation.
Thank you for the clarification.
Might I suggest that for any further boards that we have, mostly for next year, I guess, is that we note the requirement up front of Rs and Ds, if there's such a requirement that comes from statute or otherwise.
Yeah, that's why.
Or I think
I appreciate that.
there's a master list, I think, that has all of our appointees, the terms and the requirements, and maybe statutes
I
as
think
well.
Diane usually
we have
does
it.
that.
Yeah, okay.
The other issue is depending if the commissioners have their meeting first, they appoint someone, then that changes that could change our dynamics. And that's happened before.
And
So,
you can see a note on the next one.
One year, we actually had our meeting before they did, just on purpose.
Yeah.
right.
If you should update that list at some point, if you wouldn't mind
Yeah, we
sending
will.
us a copy, that would be appreciated.
We're just, we believe that Diane is the one who's maintaining it. We'll supply her with the information from tonight's meeting, and then we'll get, as soon as it's available, we will share it with everybody.
Thank you.
Moving on. Parks and Rec Department. Current member is Ronald D. Kinecrum? Thank you. Whose term ended on the 1st of this month. And based on this agenda, it appears that the nominee must be a Republican. Opening floor for nominations.
I'd nominate Ron. I'll let you handle his last name.
Nickram.
Current individual. that's in
Second.
there. From my understanding with the email that we received from Jeremy Sebecki, said he's doing a very good job, so he's very involved in.
All right. Any further nominations? Nominations are now closed. All in favor of Ron Nickram for LaPorte County Parks and Rec Board, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Planning Commission, one member appointed by the county fiscal body from its membership. Current member is Earl Cunningham, whose term ended on 12/31 of 26. Opening the floor for nominations.
So, Mr. President, then this does say that it has to be from the county council?
And this is by, according to this, it says by the council, but previously we've had from the council. What is statute?
That's why I'm asking, that's for that
Yeah.
purpose, because I'm saying if it is, then he's still not.
From the council. My understanding is from the council.
I understand that, that's why I'm asking, though, you're not the attorney.
Has to be a seated member then?
This guy,
Yes.
he knows by.
Mr. Attorney?
Off the cuff, I don't know. I would need that document. Let me, you know what, if you want to move on,
Try it.
I'll pull it up.
Yeah,
and-
if not, I said I'd like to just hold this over to the next meeting, because he might still be currently a member if it's not required.
Okay.
Yeah, we move it to the end and
We'll move it to the end. All right.
I think it was.
Just throwing it as a conversation.
I appreciate that. All right. Moving on. Michigan City Public Library Board. Current member is Dale Cooper, whose term expired on the 31st of this month. Or 31st of last month.
Mr. President, I'll make the nomination to appoint Dale Cooper to the Michigan City Public Library.
Any further nominations? Hearing none, nominations are closed. So, all in favor of Dale Cooper to the Michigan City Public Library Board, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr.
Opposed?
President? Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
It has to be one of y'all, a member of the fiscal body.
Thank you.
One of y'all.
Y'all?
Y'all.
Y'all.
Are you down in Florida? Are you down in Florida?
I'm not, I'm freezing, I'm just getting warmed up.
All right.
Y'all gonna miss that.
So, having that clarification, I'm going to move back up to the Planning Commission. So, one member must be from the county council. So, opening the floor for nominations.
That make motion for Mr. President.
Motion for Pressel. Anybody else?
Third.
All right, nominations are closed. All in favor of Jimmy Pressel going to the Planning Commission as the County Council representative, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Down to LaPorte County Animal Control Advisory Commission. Current member Randy Novak expired on the 1st of this month. There's one position. Any nominations?
Nominate Brett Kessler.
Any other nominations?
President, I'd like to nominate Randy Novak.
Okay. Hearing,
I think they should have speeches and persuade us. I kind of want to see it.
Free kittens for every,
no, do not do that.
Okay, beat that.
let's see you top that one, buddy.
Dog food for everybody.
More than,
Any further nominations?
if you want it,
I don't think anybody wants that.
Nominations are closed. Mr. Auditor, if you call a roll call vote, please.
Yes, and please state the name of the person that you would like, and I will put that down next to your name. Mr. Karanka?
6, 1.5 dozen, there's a lot going on out there with the new director.
Brett Kessler.
Mr. Mullenhour?
Randy Novak.
Mr. Novak?
Myself,
Can you spell that? Never mind. Mr. Pressel?
S,
Kessler.
Mr. Yagowski?
Kessler.
Mr. Kessler?
Kessler?
You sure? Mr. Keel?
Kessler.
Okay.
I'd like to change my vote.
I'll do it with you.
Mr. Kessler.
Mr. Kessler will
second
take,
that.
will,
And Mr. Mullenhour changed his also.
Let the record show as a unanimous vote.
is,
get you the-
no, seriously, is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Got it out.
Doesn't matter.
Moving on, LaPorte County Redevelopment Commission, there's 3 positions. Current members are myself, Mr. Novak, and Mr. Rosenbaum, all having expired at the end of last month.
Before we start lobbing out names, I just wanted to ask the question of, I know in the past we have always appointed from our membership to the redevelopment commission. Are we set on that, going forward, or would we entertain the idea of nominating or appointing people to it that are from the public, particularly if they have an economic development background?
I guess it depends on who it is and stuff, so.
I mean, I just point out we have some people who have expressed interest from, in the letters that we received. Maybe we should entertain that.
I think if some of the members come from the public or a member comes from the public, I don't have an issue with that. The only thing, it's important, I think, that there's good, strong communication with this council to have, that's the purpose of the liaison and the connection there, is that they come back and you don't have to have somebody come up and give a report, so
I would agree completely. We should definitely have at least one councilman, if not more, on there.
I think too, but anyway.
Mr. President, I nominate Randy Novak.
One nomination.
One nomination.
Any further nominations?
I nominate Adam Karanka.
Further nominations? We have 3 positions.
There's 3, right?
Yeah, I would nominate Tom Fath. He was the appointee to the redevelopment commission, but was replaced with someone else from the commission. He's been actively involved.
I'd support that if somebody up here didn't absolutely think they had to be on the.
Mr. President, I'd like to make another nomination to Mr. Yagowski, Mark Yagowski.
Any further nominations? Nominations are closed. Mr. Auditor, if you would call roll call.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to obtain 3 names from you. It'll take me a moment to write them down. I'm going to start with Mr. Novak.
Oh,
Sorry, real quick, what was I'm sorry, real quick, what was your person?
Tom Fath. Tom Fath. So it's Novak, Yagowski, Karanka, and Fath.
Early on there.
Yeah.
Got it, thank you, sir.
I'm gonna go with Karanka, Novak, and Fath.
Okay, Mr. President.
Karanka, Novak, and Fath.
Mr. Yagowski.
Karanka, Novak, and Fath.
Mr. Kessler.
Karanka, Novak, and Fath.
Keel.
Karanka, Novak, and Fath.
Mr. Karanka.
Karanka, Novak, and Tom Fath.
Karanka, Novak, and Yagowski. Nothing against Fath, but
Okay. Based upon the nomination, Mr. Karanka has 7, Mr. Novak has 7, Mr. Papp has 6, and Mr. Kessler.
Stop.
So the 3 people will be Mr. Karanka, Mr. Novak, and Mr. Papp.
Perfect, thank you. LaPorte County Solid Waste Management District Board. One position is open, current member is Mr. Mike Mullenhour.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for Mike Waldenauer,
Looks
please.
over at Mike. Or if he looks over at you.
yeah.
Motion for Mike Waldenauer.
Motion for Mike Mullenhour. Any further nominations?
Come on.
Nominations are
Come on,
closed.
Solid waste. You guys, I know somebody else. No? Okay.
Just think Mike wants to get off.
Mike actually goes, he goes to all the meetings and does a good job, so he's.
And I'm no longer president this year, thank goodness.
All right. All in favor of appointing Mr. Mullenhour to the Solid Waste District Management District Board, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Discussion on liaison assignments for 2025.
Real quick, can I ask a question here? Commissioners, am I back on the Swanton Center? Did you put,
I don't recall.
I don't think you were appointed at the meeting. I think it'll have to go up at the next meeting. Mark, I don't recall you.
okay, when's your next meeting?
15th.
Okay, because if I don't get by that one, I just can't go to the next, I can't go to the next meeting. It's just all if you,
Okay, I'll make sure it gets on the agenda.
Yeah, that was posted.
just so the council knows, that used to be a council, it's a commissioners, now it used to be a council pick, it's a commissioner's pick.
Okay. Any further discussion on liaisons? Any particular interests?
Liaison, Mr. President, I know it was changed a couple of years back. If it would so be it, that if you want to keep it the same, I like some that were assigned to 2 on the same, just put it to 1. It makes it a lot less confusing for the people that you're going to, if you don't mind.
What I would probably do is utilize what some of the department heads may be looking for as well in terms of, do they need extra support or something like that. Let them have some say in it as well, but I take it under advisement and appreciate it. Any other discussion? Then I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
It's okay.